As we think of context, a great example are maps. We're going to examine how our north is the south, a true idea of our position, not how the rest of the world looked like it. This 1935 Joaquin Torres Garcia School of the South forces us today in the 21st century to think of North and South. They had the Escuela del Sur, publicación del taller en Uruguay, Montevideo, and there's a drawing. They place the poles according to what we will place them today on the equator, but they place them in an opposite frame of reference. 1943. So the world was viewed not from the north is up and south is down, but from a south is up and north is down perspective. Is it geographically correct? This depiction helps us remember that there's no platform for the planet Earth. So the renditions we make when we have an up and a down in a two-dimensional surface like a paper or a computer screen, the up and the down, are interpretations and they are guided by our context. This Spanish statement says, and I will translate, a new concept of a new world. At any time when the maps were first drawn, some countries were placed on top and others at the bottom. Since then, on top, above, at the uppermost part are symbols or signaling superiority, while in the inferior part, down there, lower, under, signify the opposite. These totally arbitrary placements throughout the years have given us false, wrong opinions. This map that you're about to see, that is called Turnabout Map of the Americas, serves to correct this disequilibrium. This map will focus attention on new directions toward areas of extensive populations, energies, and potentialities. It is geographically, and I will add scientifically correct, only the perspective has been changed. Let's look at it. Oh, wait a minute. What do you see? Oh, the letters. The letters are upside down. So how can we fix this? Oh, now there's peace in my brain. Is there peace in my brain? What is happening here? Here you have the whole map of the Americas, the turnabout map, with the new understanding. How does it make you feel? What does your context do? Notice that geographically south is where the south is, nothing has changed. The parallels and the longitudes are the same. The margins and borders of countries are the same, and relationships with space are the same. but the direction has changed. The up and the down has changed. South is now up and north is now down. So when I am in Mexico, I go down to the United States, and when I am in Southern California, I go up to Baja California. Hmm. Turnabout map, 1982. This other map shows the same perspective. Gilbert Magoo drew it in 1984. You see Mexico, and he's driving down from Mexico into the USA. Hmm. The painting or drawing of the 16th century idealized perspective of Europeans saw natives of the Americas welcoming Europeans that are always well dressed and kept, none of the real stench and the state of reality of the boats and the ships and the caravelas where they were traveling is depicted here. Everything is in place. This context of the artist is a European perspective. Another European perspective, this time not from the 16th century, but from the 19th century, 1846. Everything is beautifully placed, everything is rightfully ordered, the natives are submissive. This is a very different depiction. Mr. Quiros, the artist, drew, painted in 1990. Christopher Columbus discovers America and introduces the Spanish language. And of course, the rape is going on of the native woman by the presented as a pirate, conquistador, and Cristoforo Columbus had money in his brain, and you see all of the other depictions. Exploitation of the natives. So what is the truth? What happened? 16th century, of course, had more than one perspective. This is perhaps a more realistic depiction. A native being blinded, others suffering of different illness of the skin. Here is the hand cut off, piles of them being killed. We cannot avoid having a perspective. Just like we place maps up and down, we see paintings and we draw and paint with a particular view. Of course, we know that in the time of the early church and the time of Jesus on earth, they would not have used, Romans did not use such tables as this. This table is a depiction of a different era. Everything here is symmetrical. Jesus is in the center. This is the Christian doctrine. It's not a depiction of what happened, it's a depiction of a theological, philosophical perspective. That Jesus is the Godhead and is in the center of Christianity. It's a classical tradition, a traditional view. We all have traditional view we draw from. And these traditional views are flipping along with new perspectives, continually shifting. Nothing is permanent, but everything is absolute at a particular time. We do not experience, even if we experience conflicting ideas, we experience one set of conflicting ideas, one point of view at a time. We see the world through our frame. Who is this gentleman? The savage? The culture of Native Americans was in harmony with nature. Are we the savages because we exploit nature in an unsustainable manner? What does it mean to be a savage? Is the savage the one that does not exploit to the maximum for the pleasure of the moment, or is the savage the one that exploits to the maximum with disregard for sustainability? Is the clothing of the man the one that makes him savage or civilized? We have perspectives of the so called savage. The Europeans that first came into this land, and none of them brought a visa, by the way, the first illegal aliens were the Europeans who invaded this side of the world. They call the so-called uninhabited areas and so-called undeveloped areas wilderness, something wild to be tamed. The Native Americans saw these areas as natural and as home, not as wild. How we view and frame evolves perspectives from time, pictures. We have to define it. And I invite you to think about this. We'll give you other exercises as you read, and we will continue the conversation online in the discussion board. Thank you very much. See you soon.